Welcome back to my Book of Mormon, me, David Michael. So, for those of you that are keeping track of this show, so if you go back all the way to episode 1, you'll hear that I'm trying to be respectful, and I'm saying, I just want to read this book and see what people believe and see if we can get some understanding. Yeah, and so apparently now it's just degenerated into a show where everyone wants to hear me get drunk. Yeah, that happened. So last week, I did what I thought was rather unprofessional for a podcaster, and showed up intoxicated and recorded an episode anyway, and drank the whole time. And everyone seemed to love it. Through Twitter, through Facebook, through emails, everyone's saying, funniest episode ever, do that more. So it's like, oh, okay, I guess that I'll try. I can't do it every time, for a few reasons. One, I have a liver that I need to keep, right? I need to keep that thing going for a while. And two, it's just like, you can't just drink whenever, right? So sometimes I record, middle of the day, and I might have to take care of the kids that night, and so you just can't just go and get hammered. But I worked my schedule out this week, and said people seem to love it so much. I am a slave to the mimos. You guys tell me what you want, and that's what I'll do. So apparently everybody likes hearing David getting good and hammered. So I'm not as drunk as I was last time, but I've had a few, right? I'll just put it this way. Not as drunk as I was in the beginning of the last episode 39. Oh yeah, this is episode 40, everybody. Good old 40, we hit it. And it took us 40 episodes to turn into a drunken podcast. What are you going to do, I guess? Anyway, so not as drunk as I was on 39, but I probably shouldn't be driving. So that's where I am, right? I pre-gamed a little bit, but I'm not insane. But I am going to play the drinking game again, because everyone seemed to like that too. So, that's going to happen. Alright, so before we start reading the lovely Book of Mormon, we have some people to thank. I love it when we have people to thank. So this week, we have 2 new Mimo priests. It's fantastic. So first, we have Priest Harry Phillips. Thank you so much, Harry. Welcome to the Mimo priesthood. And Harry, we may have to say thank you again once we get to episode 42. And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, private joke. Or maybe you should keep up with the Facebook more, because then you'd be laughing right now. Yeah, you would. But anyway, so Harry might get a second thank you. In a few episodes. Additionally, we have Priest Patrick Peterson, and I am 100% certain that I'm pronouncing that name wrong. You want to know how I know that? Because I'm fairly sure that Patrick is from Sweden, and so there's probably Priest Patrick is from Sweden, and so there's probably a very Swedish way of saying it, and so to Priest Patrick, I'm sorry that I'm probably butchering your name, because it looks like it should just be Patrick Peterson, but surely there's something more to it. But either way, thank you. Thank you so much for joining the priesthood, both Priest Harry and Priest Patrick. Love that you guys signed up to help the Taylor Scholarship and for all the good that it's doing. Fantastic. So once again, thank you to everybody that has either contributed directly to Whitefields, contributed directly to the show, or signed up through Patreon. We're making a difference in the world, and we're really helping people's lives that need it most. So awesome. So let's just move on now to the Book of Mormon. All right. We're in chapter 20 of the Book of Alma. So we're starting chapter 20 here. And if you guys remember the last episode, like Ammon got a little crazy, started killing everybody, and killing the pranksters, right? Didn't care for the pranksters that were scattering flocks. So he chopped off all their arms and killed a bunch of them with his sling. And then went to the king and kind of I don't know, they all overdosed on spirit or something, and they all passed out, and they thought they were dead, and they woke up and they were like, Jesus is awesome, right? So that's where we left off. I think is what. Anyway, so we're moving on from there, and okay, so we will begin with chapter 20. And then it came to pass, right off the bat, again. How many episodes in a row we start? Well, hold on, I have to take the drink. Drink, everyone. Seriously, though, how many episodes have we started with, and it came to pass? And that seems to be the most common way for a chapter to start. Great way to start the show. Okay. That when they had established a church in that land, which I assume is this King Lamoni's land, right? No. The King Lamoni, yep, I was right, desired that Ammon should go with him to the land of Nephi, that he might show him unto his father. All right. And remember, the land of Nephi is not where the Nephites are. No, they escaped from there. So, Lamoni's father, we don't know his name yet, we just know he is king of all the land. He lives in the land of Nephi. So there you go. And the voice of the Lord came to Ammon, saying, Thou shalt not go up to the land of Nephi, for behold, the king will seek thy life. Okay. But thou shalt go to the land of Middoni. I assume it's Middoni. Middoni? Yeah, we'll say Middoni. It's easier to say than Midni. Yeah. Okay. For behold, thy brother Aaron, and also Mulikai, and Alma are in prison. My goodness, quite a bit to pronounce there. All right. So remember, Ammon was not alone. He had a bunch of his brothers with him. They're all sons of Mosiah. Ooh, got it. So they're all sons of Mosiah. Yeah. And so Aaron has a bunch of brothers. They all went to go just turn all the Lamanites, save the Lamanites. We're going to be Lamanite missionaries. Woohoo! And so, but, and Ammon's been quite successful so far, right? Like right off the bat, first town he encountered, converted them all, champion. I mean, killed some too, but for those that he didn't kill or maim, converted now. Good for him. And he was going to go meet the king of all the land, but God said, no, it's dangerous. And also, by the way, your brothers are in prison in Middoni. Or no, I already said Middoni. We're saying Middoni, right? Okay. Now it came to pass, drink. All right. That when Ammon, sorry, I had to open it. Yeah, I didn't start with a full beer, so that sound you heard was me opening another beer. So I didn't just like drink an entire beer in 2 drinks, right? It started out a little low. Anyway, okay. When Ammon had heard this, he said unto Lamoni, behold, my brother and brethren are in prison at Middoni, and I go that I may deliver them. Fair enough. Now Lamoni said unto Ammon, I know. Wait, he knows? Wait, in the strength of the Lord thou canst do all things. But behold, I will go with thee to the land of Middoni, for the king of the land of Middoni, whose name is, oh goodness, Anatomno, is a friend unto me. Therefore I go to the land of Middoni, that I may flatter the king of the land, and he will cast thy brethren out of prison. I love that. I understand being cast into prison. I don't think you want to be cast out of prison, right? You just want to be released. Like, because the vision of being cast in is like just throwing you into the cell. So it's like, hey, king, let him out of prison. He just grabs him and just throws him on the street. Cast you out of prison. Anyway, okay. But I love at the beginning when Ammon is like, hey, Lamoni, my brother's in prison. He's like, yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, all right, I'll help. I'll help set him free for you. All right. Where were we? Casting out. Here we go. Now Lamoni said unto him, who told thee that thy brethren were in prison? Yeah, how did you know? Well, Lamoni, it would have been nice if you told him, if you're supposed to be all friends now, just saying. And Ammon said unto him, no one hath told me, save it be God. And he said unto me, go and deliver thy brethren, for they are in prison, in the land of Middoni. There you go. So he's like, nobody told me. God told me. God talks to me all the time. He didn't talk to you? What, just me? Okay. Now when Lamoni had heard this, he caused that his servant should make ready his horses and his chariots. There's those horses again. Yeah, remember, North America was rife with horses in this time period. No, it wasn't. There were no horses. But hey, whatever. We're not going to let that get in the way of the story. We're just going to roll with it. There were horses, okay? And maybe there's no archaeological evidence for them because, I don't know, they were raptured or something, okay? We don't know yet. We're not even halfway through the book. We have no idea. Anyway, okay. And he said unto Ammon, come, I will go with thee down to the land of Middoni, and there I will plead with the king, and he will cast thy brethren out of prison. You just said that. He literally just said that. Like, I don't under... Okay. And it came to pass, drink! I need to stop taking such big gulps. Sorry, it's a bad habit. Okay. That as Ammon and Lamoni were journeying thither, they met the father of Lamoni, who was the king over all the land. Oh, what do you mean they met him? I thought he was in the land of Nephi. Is he just out on a nature walk between villages? I guess. Okay. It says nothing else. I just met him, so let's read on. And behold, the father of Lamoni said unto him, why did ye not come to the feast on the great day, when I made a feast unto my sons and unto my people? Fair. He's like, I am king of all the land, and you're my son. Kind of looks bad when you don't show up to the party I throw. You know what I'm saying? And he also said, whither art thou going with this Nephite, who is one of the children of a liar? Awesome. So yeah, the king of all Lamanites, yeah, he's remembered who the enemy is. Yeah. He's like, maybe you've buddied up with this Nephite, but he's the son of a liar. Awesome. And it came to pass, drink. Goodness, this has been quite a drinker so far. Lamoni rehearsed unto him whither he was going, for he feared to offend him. Okay. And he also told him all the cause of his tarryings in his own kingdom, that he did not go unto his father to the feast which he had prepared. So he's probably like, Dad, I wanted to come to your feast. I really did. Totally wanted to come, but, I was kind of dead. So, yeah, I just couldn't. I died, but then I was born again, and I have Jesus, so that's why I couldn't come. I was dead at the time. Please forgive me. Fair enough. And now when Lamoni had rehearsed unto him all these things, behold, to his astonishment, his father was angry with him, and said, Lamoni, thou art going to deliver these Nephites, who are the sons of liars. Behold, he robbed our fathers, and now his children are also come amongst us, that they may by their cunning and their lyings deceive us, and they again may rob us of our property. So this king, we still don't know his name, he's just king of all the land, Lamoni's dad. So he's basically like, look, this Nephite pulled a fast one on you, all right? This is all con job. I don't know what's going on. All I know is he's a Nephite, and so he's evil, son of a liar. He's going to rob us. Now the father of Lamoni commanded him, and he should slay Ammon with the sword. Well, there you go. And he also commanded him that he should not go to the land of Madoni, but that he should return with him to the land of Ishmael. Wait a minute. I thought the king was from the land of Nephi, but apparently he's on his way. Probably that's how they encountered him on the road. He's going from the land of Nephi to the land of Ishmael. Is this king just by himself, the king of all the land? I mean, doesn't he have like an army with him, or at the very least, like guards or something? Sounds like he's just by himself. He was just wandering, just wandering around. La la la, I'm the king of all the land. Okay, let's also not forget that he's also what just happened. That the king of all the land looked at his son Lamoni and said, "Yeah, that guy that you're best friends with now, that Nephite, kill him on the spot right now. Prove your loyalty to me. Run him through. Let's go." So let's see what happens. But Lamoni said unto him, I will not slay Ammon. Disobeying the king. This can't end well. Neither will I return to the land of Ishmael, but I go to the land of Madoni, that I may release the brethren of Ammon, for I know that they are just men and holy prophets of true God. The true God. Yeah, so this is not going to go well. The king of all the land just gave him direct orders, and he pretty much flipped him off and said, go F yourself, I'm not doing any of that. See what happens. Now when his father has heard these words, he was angry with him, fair enough, and he drew his sword, that he might smite him to the earth. My goodness, there's an overreaction. This is your son, dude. This king of all the land. Yeah, I'll tell you, he has one response for disobedience. Wouldn't care who he is, his own son. He's like, oh, I asked you to do something and you don't want to do it? I will kill you now. Wow. That must have been a fun childhood, right? Clean your room. I don't want to. Well, then I will kill you. All right, I'll clean my room. Calm down. Wow, what a guy. Okay, so let's see who wins this battle. But Ammon stood forth and said unto him, Behold, thou shalt not slay thy son. Nevertheless, it were better that he should fall than thee. For behold, he has repented of his sins. But if thou shouldest fall this time, in thine anger, thy soul could not be saved. Wait, what? What's going on? So sounds like Ammon's trying to do the whole Pascal's wager on the king of all the land. Like, hey, listen, if you kill your son, he's going to heaven. But listen, you don't know how it's going to end. I mean, the kid's going to defend himself, right? What if he wins? Then you're going to hell. So maybe you should think this through, right? I think that's kind of it's a twist of the Pascal's wager, but pretty much the same idea, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. I'm not going to get into it, but Pascal's wager, you should know. Okay, it's a good thing to know. Okay, anyway. And again, it is expedient thou shouldest forbear, for if thou shouldest slay thy son, he being an innocent man, his blood would cry from the ground to the Lord his God, for vengeance to come upon thee, and perhaps thou wouldst lose thy soul. First of all, I don't know how innocent he is. Isn't this the same guy? He's just like kill people for losing sheep? I don't know that I would call him innocent. But anyway, maybe he's innocent now because his soul's been cleansed because he repented or something. Anyway, what are you going to do? Now when Ammon had said these words unto him, he answered him, saying, I know that if I should slay my son, that I should shed innocent blood, for it is thou that hast sought to destroy him. And he stretched forth his hand to slay Ammon. But Ammon withstood his blows, and also smote his arm that he could not use it. My goodness, Ammon's back to his old ways of chopping arms off. And first of all, not first of all, but yeah, another point, it really does sound like this king is alone. Because here he is in armed sword conflict with Ammon, and no one's coming to his aid. This is a hand-to-hand combat with swords, and nobody else around. What is this king doing? Just wandering around the countryside, just skipping it, just whistling a tune. And he's like, oh, there's my son with the sworn enemy. What's going on here? And his son's like, well, he's my friend now. And he's like, no, that's not how this works. He's evil. We're going to have to kill him. And his son's like, no, not going to happen. And then the enemy guy stands up and starts getting all uppity and lippy with the king. King's like, I'm going to kill you. Next thing you know, his king's arm gets chopped off. That is Ammon's signature move, right? Yeah. Good thing the king wasn't at range, because then Ammon probably would have killed him with a sling. Because there's just two moves: kill you with a sling or chop your arm off with my sword. Good for the king. He only got the latter. No more arm. Man, that's what it said. He smote his arm that he could not use it. I guess it didn't say he smote it off, but I mean, I'm just going with that. King now has one arm. That's not good. And when the king saw that Ammon could slay him, well, of course he could slay you. Just chop your arm off. He's smarter than the Black Knight in Monty Python, right? Holy Grail. Remember that scene? The Black Knight, his arm chopped off, and he's like, just a flesh wound. This king is smarter than that. And he's like, no, I'm done. I have lost this battle because I am now missing an arm. Okay, so he knew Ammon could slay him. He began to plead with Ammon that he would spare his life. But Ammon raised his sword and said unto him, Behold, I will smite thee, except thou wilt grant unto me that my brethren may be cast out of prison. Man. So now he's doing this is extortion, right? Because Ammon's like, here's the deal. You're going to give me what I want, or I'm going to kill you. Like, that is, I believe that's a definition of extortion, isn't it? I think. So, what a holy and just man Ammon is. Telling someone, if you don't give me what I want, I will murder you. That's lovely. Good job, Ammon. Way to set the example for the rest of us. Yeah, what a guy. Now the king, fearing that he should lose his life, said, If thou wilt spare me, I will grant unto thee whatsoever thou wilt ask, even to half of the kingdom. Well, don't be an idiot. Now this king's getting stupid, right? Ammon said, I just want 3 guys out of prison. And now the king's like, I'll give you half my kingdom. And it's like, oh, okay, I'll take that and the 3 guys out of prison. Right? That's what I would say. Sure, I'll take half the kingdom. Sounds great. Now when Ammon saw that he had wrought upon the old king according to his desire... Wait, what? Wrought upon the old king? Oh, I don't know what that means. All right. He said unto him, If thou wilt grant that my brethren may be cast out of prison, and also that Lamoni may retain his kingdom, and that ye should not be displeased with him, but grant that he may do according to his own desires in whatsoever thing he thinketh, then I will spare thee. Otherwise, I will smite thee to the earth. The stakes are getting raised a little. So at first it was just like, just want my brothers out of prison. He's like, actually, now they think about it, my buddy Lamoni here, which let's be honest, they do seem, remember in the last episode, they seem more than friends. Like there's something else going on there, right? We all read it. We all read it together. It was clearly they've got some sort of bond. We'll just put it that way. All right. So he's like, I forgot about my man. He's like, my boy here, we got to make sure that he keeps his kingdom. And you're not allowed to be mad at him, right? He said that. You cannot be displeased with him. There you go. And, or I'll kill you. That's option B. What do you want? Let's see what he does. Now when Ammon said these words, the king began to rejoice because of his life. Okay. King's like, awesome, I'm not going to die. Might be missing an arm, but, I'm not going to die. And when he saw that Ammon had no desire to destroy him, and when he saw the great love he had for his son Lamoni, I was right. Even the dad can see it. He's like, there's clearly something going on between these two. He saw the great love. All right. I feel bad for these two. It's like I think they're really in love, and they have yet to really, find a way to, consummate that relationship. Sad. Yeah. Okay. He was astonished exceedingly, and said, Because this is all thou hast desireth, that I would release thy brethren, and suffer that my son Lamoni should retain his kingdom. Behold, I will grant this unto you, that my son may retain his kingdom from this time and forever. I will govern him no more. Wow. So it's not just like he's retaining the kingdom. I think he's like, you are now independent of this kingdom. But also, he forgot the key part there. He has to, he can't be displeased with him. The king didn't say anything like, and I am no longer displeased. So I don't know if Ammon's going to let that go. He might say, not enough, king. I said, no displeasure. And I will grant unto thee that thy brethren may be cast out of prison, and that thou and thy brethren may come unto me in my kingdom, for I shall greatly desire to see thee. Why would the king want to see them? Weird. Like a second ago, he was like, I hate you. Right? I hate you. I want you to die. And what happened between them and now? King tried to kill him, and lost his arm in the process. And now he's like, oh, I would love to see you and your brothers. So unless this is like an elaborate trap, this king's character makes no sense. Like, right? Like, why would he suddenly love the guy just because he won in a sword fight and chopped his arm off? I think he would be kind of pissed. Anyway, we'll see. For I shall greatly desire to see thee. For the king was greatly astonished at the words which he had spoken, and also at the words which had been spoken by his son Lamoni. Therefore he was desirous to learn them. No idea what words they're referring to, but, apparently he overheard something between Ammon and Lamoni, and he's like, I gotta hear more of that. Well, okay, fair enough. And it came to pass, it's about time, drink. All right. Then Ammon and Lamoni proceeded on their journey towards the land of Middoni. And Lamoni, isn't that fun? Middoni and Lamoni. Lamoni is going to Middoni. That's fun. And Lamoni found favor in the eyes of the king of the land. Therefore the brethren of Ammon were brought forth out of prison. And there's a short story. So Lamoni he said that he knew this guy. He knew the king of Middoni. So he walked in and he's like, hey, what's it going to take? What kind of favors do I need to do for you? And whatever it was, Lamoni did it, and so now the brothers are free. Okay. And when Ammon did meet them, he was exceedingly sorrowful. For behold, they were naked, and their skin was worn exceedingly because of being bound with strong cords. And they had also suffered hunger, thirst, and all kinds of afflictions. Nevertheless, they were patient in all their sufferings. All right. So they were having a tough time of it. Not doing well in their missionaries. And as it happened, it was their lot to have fallen into the hands of a more hardened and a more stiff-necked people. Therefore they would not hearken unto their words, and they had cast them out, and had smitten them, and had driven them from house to house, and from place to place, even until they had arrived in the land of Middoni. And there they were taken and cast into prison, and bound with strong cords, and kept in prison for many days, and were delivered by Lamoni and Ammon. That was the end of 20. So it sounds like it was great success that Ammon had when he walked into Lamoni's kingdom, right, was not shared amongst his brothers. So Ammon just walked in, and he's like, what's up? King's like, hey, what's up? And they fall in love instantly, right? But yeah, these other brothers, not so much, Oh, and 21 has one of these non-italicized things before, so we're going to read it. An account of the preaching of Aaron and Molokai and their brethren to the Lamanites, comprising chapters 21 through 25. Okay, so I think this is going to be a flashback. Because remember at the end there, it was like they had a really tough time. Now I think we're about to hear that tough time. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. But before I can start, I need another beer, so hold on. Well, you don't have to hold on. I'm going to hit pause. You won't notice. Anyway, I'll be right back, but whatever. All right, I'm back. And I recognize that that's a stupid thing to say. Because for you, I was never gone. But I am back. And I'll tell you, on my way to the fridge and back, I think I'm drunker than I let on. The world seemed to spin a little bit. I actually don't know how I can still read, but somehow I'm pulling it off, so let's keep going with it. All right, so now let's hear about the Ammon brothers, Aaron, Molokai, and their brethren, whoever they are. Here we go. Now when Ammon and his brethren, oh, that's sad. Every chapter usually starts with the came to pass. Well, I feel I'm going to have a drink because, I don't know, I feel like the beginning of a chapter, it just deserves a drink. So here we go. I'm cheating. What are you going to do? Nah, anyway, whatever. Now when Ammon and his brethren separated themselves in the borders of the land of the Lamanites, behold, Aaron took his journeys towards the land which was called by the Lamanites Jerusalem, calling it after the land of their fathers' nativity, and it was away joining the borders of Mormon. Well, first of all, I love that they have to explain it. You know what I mean? So it's like the city was called Jerusalem, and it's like, and first of all, wouldn't it be easier to call it New Jerusalem? You know what I mean? Like they didn't just call, they took a city in England called York, and they said, hey, let's call it New York, right? There's New Mexico. You didn't just call it Mexico. That'd be confusing, right? We can't have a state called Mexico. That'd be confusing. So anyway, they should have called it New Jerusalem, but anyway, it's just Jerusalem. But I love that to explain it. It's like, we called it Jerusalem because that's where Lehi came from. It's like, no kidding. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay. Where did you come up with that bizarre name, Jerusalem? Anyway, and apparently it's near the borders of Mormon or something. I don't know that I care, but apparently it's near Mormon. Now when the Lamanites and the Amalekites and the people of Ambulon had built a great city, which was called Jerusalem. Okay. Should have been New Jerusalem, but whatever. And Amalekites, I don't remember. And Ambulon, I don't remember. I think these are all Nehor people, I think. Yeah. But Amalekites, it's funny, like, I'm pretty sure that they were also the people in the Old Testament that were just, like, routinely killed. and for sport. Like, God hated them, right? Like, every time there was a battle with the Amalekites, God was like, kill every breathing thing. If you see ants in the city, crush them. You know what I mean? You just hated them. Yeah, and it was almost a recurring theme in the Old Testament, kill the Amalekites. And now they're in North America. So they must have fled the butchering in Mesopotamia, and now they're in North America. Up to no good. You know. All right, I'm babbling now. You guys know this happens. You know I babble when I'm drinking, but you seem to like it, so what are you going to do? But I'm going to keep reading. Now the Lamanites of themselves were sufficiently hardened. They were sufficiently hardened. Fantastic. But the Amalekites and the Ammonites were still harder. Ooh, man. Harder than the Lamanites. Those are some hard hearts right there. I assume they're talking about hearts. Could be talking about something else, but let's not go there. It wasn't outrightly perverted, so we won't assume. Therefore they did cause the Lamanites that they should harden their hearts. I was right, it was hearts. That they should wax strong in wickedness and their abominations. Wow. So the Amalekites and the Ammonites are actually like a bad influence on the Lamanites. There you go. There's all kinds of stiff-necked. And it came to pass. Drink! Awesome. I love this game. That Aaron came to the city of Jerusalem and first began to preach to the Amalekites. He began to preach to them in their synagogues, for they had built synagogues after the order of the Nehors. Ah, yes, I was right. It was the Nehors. Yes, no good Nehors. For many of the Amalekites and the Ammonites were after the order of the Nehors. Well, imagine that. Why do they keep doing that? They built, what do they say? They built synagogues after the order of the Nehors. And it's like, okay, fair enough, so they're Nehors, and it's like, because they like believed in the order of the Nehors. It's like, revelation. Thank you so much. Therefore, as Aaron entered into one of their synagogues to preach unto the people, and as he was speaking unto them, behold, there arose an Amalekite, and began to contend with him, saying, What is this that thou hast testified? Hast thou seen an angel? Why do not angels appear unto us? Behold, are not this people as good as thy people? Fair question. Fair question. It's like you're basically coming in here, saying that you saw an angel, and he told you a bunch of stuff that we've never heard. So why doesn't the angel come here right now and tell us himself? Seriously, great question. I would like the same. The angel would come down to me and make some sense out of this. It would be helpful. Very, very helpful. Anyway, okay, let's see what Aaron has to say. Oh, wait, it doesn't look like Aaron's talking. It's still this stiff-necked Amalekite. Thou also sayest, Except we repent, we shall perish. How knowest thou the thoughts and intents of our hearts? How knowest thou that we have cause to repent? How knowest thou that we are not a righteous people? Behold, we have built sanctuaries. We do assemble ourselves to worship God. We do believe that God will save all men. This is a fair argument. And then you come in here saying we're wicked. How do you know we're wicked? You just showed up. You don't know what we're doing. We're good people. Look at us. We built some synagogues. We're worshiping God. And, we just have a small theological, difference between us. You think there's this whole repent clause, and we don't think there is. That's all. But we're not wicked. Come on. You don't go there. Anyway, now Aaron said unto him, Believest thou that the Son of God shall come to redeem mankind from their sins? And the man said unto him, We do not believe that thou knowest any such thing. Wait, what? We do not believe in these foolish traditions. We do not believe that thou knowest of things to come. Neither do we believe thy fathers, and also that our fathers did know concerning the things which they spake of that which is to come. So it looks like the Nehor religion here has taken a turn. Because at first, the difference between the Nephites and the Nehors, the Nephites said that Jesus was going to come and he was going to save everyone that repented, right? And then the Nehors said that Jesus was coming to save everyone. And also, by the way, we should pay priests, whatever. I don't know why that was a big deal, but whatever, it was mentioned. And now it's saying, that these Nehor followers are like, you know what, quite frankly, prophecies, unreliable. We just don't think that anyone can see the future, which is fair, since that's true. You can't see the future, right? Anyway, so they're basically like, we just gave up on this Jesus thing because it's a prediction of the future that can't be verified, so yeah, we're not buying it. There you go. Now Aaron began to open the scriptures unto them concerning the coming of Christ, and also concerning the resurrection of the dead, and there could be no redemption for mankind save it were through the death and sufferings of Christ and the atonement of his blood. And it came to pass, drink! Awesome. As he began to expound these things unto them, they were angry with him, and began to mock him, that they would not hear the words which he spake. Fair enough. And then they just finished saying, like, we just don't think that people can see the future, right? Future's yet to be written. We don't know. We just don't know. And so Aaron's response to that is, okay, well, let me read some scriptures where it predicts the future. And they're like, dude, did you not hear us? We don't buy it, right? We just don't think anyone knows what's going to happen. Anyway, here we go. Therefore, when he saw that they would not hear his words, he departed out of their synagogue and came over to a village which was called Ani-Anti. What in the world? Ani-Anti. Great village, Ani-Anti. Okay. And there he found Mulokai, that's his brother, right, Mulokai, preaching the word unto them, and also Alma and his brethren. And they contended with many about the word. And it came to pass, drink again. There we go. That was gone. It came to pass that they saw the people would harden their hearts. Therefore they departed and came over into the land of Lamoni, and they did preach the words unto many, and few believed on the words which they taught. At least there was a few. So few people. All right, that's not bad. That's not bad. You got a few converts there. All right. Nevertheless, Aaron and a certain number of his brethren were taken and cast into prison. And the remainder of them fled out of the land of Lamoni unto the regions round about. Okay, so they didn't all get thrown into prison. Some of them escaped. There you go. And those who were cast into prison suffered many things, and they were delivered by the hand of Lamoni and Ammon, and they were fed and clothed. Oh, all right, so I guess the flashback's done, because now we've reached the point of the story that we already heard. Lamoni and Ammon saved them. All right. And they went forth again to declare the word, and thus they were delivered for the first time out of prison, and thus they had suffered. I don't know what that meant. So does it mean that they are out of prison and they're just right back at it? I think. Maybe. Let's see what happens. And they went forth whithersoever. Man, that's a fine word. Whithersoever. They were led by the Spirit of the Lord, preaching the word of God in every synagogue of the Amalekites, or in every assembly of the Lamanites, where they could be admitted. Okay. I wonder how it was. Were they succeeding? In some places they're not even letting them in the door. But apparently where they could be admitted, they're just going all in. And it came to pass, drink. The Lord began to bless them, insomuch that they brought many to the knowledge of the truth. Yea. Oh, goodness. Forgot to say drink, but obviously I drank. Okay. They did convince many of their sins and the traditions of their fathers, which were not correct. A little bit of success here. All right. So it went from a few, and now it's many. Fantastic. They're getting some converts. And it came to pass. Are you kidding? All right, drink. Oh my God, this is getting hard. That Ammon and Lamoni returned from the land of Madoni to the land of Ishmael, which was the land of their inheritance. Why is it the land of their inheritance? I would understand if it was the land of Nephi. Apparently they're laying claim to the land of Ishmael too. All right, land of their inheritance. And King Lamoni would not suffer that Ammon should serve him or be his servant. Huh? I don't know what that meant. I don't know at what point. Well, I guess way back when, Ammon agreed to be Lamoni's servant, remember? And Lamoni's like, well, I do need a new shepherd because I killed a bunch of my last ones. And so now Lamoni's like, you know what? Because of the love we share, we should be equals. Yeah, you can't be my servant anymore. No, I don't know if I should read into that. Are they officially lovers now? Maybe. It doesn't say they are. But the Lamoni's dad saw it, and there's great love between them. And we remember last episode, it got pretty steamy. Anyway, so for their Ammon officially is not Lamoni's servant. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But he caused that there should be synagogues built in the land of Ishmael, and he caused that his people, or the people who were under his reign, should assemble themselves together. Wait. Lamoni is now, I guess, ruler over the land of Ishmael. Oh, was that what that meant about the whole land of his inheritance? Did Lamoni's dad have to, cede the land of Ishmael to Lamoni as a part of this whole, not being killed by Ammon truce that was made? Maybe. Anyway, whatever. And he did rejoice over them. He did teach them many things. And he did also declare unto them that they were a people who were under him, and that they were a free people. And they were free from the oppressions of the king, his father. Man, not being real nice to his dad. For that his father had granted unto him, and he might reign over the people who were in the land of Ishmael. The theory was correct. And in all lands round about. So, yeah, sounds like actually doesn't sound like it, outright says that this whole, when Ammon was about to kill the king, and the king's like, well, I'll give you anything, what do you want? Bah. And he's like, I want my brothers out of prison, and I want my boyfriend, Lamoni, to, have a bunch of kingdoms. And apparently the king gave him the land of Ishmael and the land roundabout land, important. Okay, and he also declared unto them that they might have the liberty of worshiping the Lord their God, according to their desires, and in whatsoever place they were in, if it were in the land which was under the reign of King Lamoni. All right. So King Lamoni, sounds like, is basically instituted religious freedom. Yeah, as long as that religious freedom is his God, right? That's awesome. So they have liberty to worship, his God. There you go. I don't know what happens if you, worship another God under Lamoni's rule. I don't know. Doesn't say. But I have a feeling it wouldn't be good. And Ammon did preach unto the people of King Lamoni. And it came to pass, drink! He did teach them all things concerning things pertaining to righteousness. And he did exhort them daily with all diligence. And they gave heed unto his word. And they were zealous for the keeping of the commandments of God. I think this is Lamoni. Yeah, King Lamoni has become like a missionary himself. That was a good ally to have. I'll tell you, Ammon, I don't know what you did to him, but seems like you guys are pretty tight right now. Anyway, all right, so we're now entering, that was the end of 21, going into 22. All right, very exciting. Now, as Ammon was thus teaching the people of Lamoni continually, now hold on. I guess it was Ammon preaching. Yeah, it was. Sorry. Ammon was doing the preaching. So Lamoni just comes in and he just lays down some law. Like, hey, you have to listen to Ammon. And then Ammon comes in and he's like, do this. They're like, okay. There you go. Now, as Ammon was thus teaching the people of Lamoni continually, we will return to the account of Aaron and his brethren. Again with this, we will return. Who's we? That's weird. That's just a weird way of writing, isn't it? We will return to the account of Aaron and his brethren. It's like suddenly there's a narrator, right? Where did he come from? Okay, for after he departed from the land of Madoni, he was led by the spirit of the land of Nephi. The spirit of, to the land of Nephi. Okay, sorry about that. So, okay, Aaron, who's one of Ammon's brothers, who is not as good at being a missionary, by the way. Ammon is kicks ass at it. He just, everywhere he goes, people convert. Aaron tries. He's trying, but not so successful. But he's like, you know what? The Spirit is leading me to the land of Nephi. Let's see how he does there. Okay, it's the land of Nephi, even to the house of the king, which was over all the land, save it were the land of Ishmael, and he was the father of Lamoni. Like we wouldn't have known that. Of course we know the king of all the land is the father of Lamoni. Anyway, but yeah, it sounds like the king had to completely cede the land of Ishmael. It is no longer under his control. It is now under his son's control entirely, without any influence over the king of all the land. All right. But Aaron is going to see the king of all the land. Okay, here we go. And it came to pass, drink, that he went unto him in the king's palace with his brethren, and bowed himself before the king, and said unto him, Behold, O king, we are the brethren of Ammon, who thou hast delivered out of prison. Right? Remember Ammon, guy who chopped your arm off? Yeah, we're his brothers. Isn't that great? And now, O king, if thou wilt spare our lives, we will be thy servants. And the king said unto them, Arise, for I will grant unto you your lives, and I will not suffer that ye shall be my servants. But I will insist that ye shall minister unto me, for I have been somewhat troubled in mind because of the generosity and the greatness of the words of thy brother Ammon. The generosity and the greatness. That's great. Because remember, this man chopped his arm off, right? Just chopped it off. And then held him, it threatened his life unless he caved. So he's like, either you have to give up part of your kingdom to your son, my boyfriend, right? You gotta do it. You gotta let my brothers out of prison. And you're gonna back off. You just need to back up, or I will kill you. And now the king reflects back and he's like, how generous and great of a man that was. What a great guy. Chopped my arm off, threatened my life. What a generous man. That's fantastic. Sorry. Okay. And I desire to know the cause of why he has not come out of Madoni with thee. So the king's like, where is this guy, Mr. Arm Chopper? And Aaron said unto the king, Behold, the Spirit of the Lord has called him another way. He has gone to the land of Ishmael to teach the people of Lamoni. So it's pretty much like, yeah, Ammon and Lamoni, I kind of want to be left alone right now. Need a little private time. You can guess why, but you saw the great love they had for each other. We can't split them up. Man, come on, just give them their space. We all know what's going on there. Now the king said unto them, What is this that ye have said concerning the Spirit of the Lord? Behold, this is the thing which doth trouble me. Okay. And also, what is this that Ammon said? If ye will repent, ye shall be saved, and if ye will not repent, ye shall be cast off at the last day. Oh, again, that happened before he got his arm chopped off. But Ammon said that was the whole Pascal's wager-ish kind of thing. All right, so the king is just befuddled by it. And Aaron answered him and said unto him, Believest thou that there is a God? And the king said, I know that the Amalekites say there is a God. That's awesome. And I have granted unto them that they should build sanctuaries, they may assemble themselves together to worship God. And if now saith there is a God, behold, I will believe. This is an easy sale, isn't it? So this king's like, do you believe in God? He's like, I don't know. I mean, there's some people under my rule that do, and I told them to run with it, but I don't know. But then the king's like, but tell you what, tell me there's a God, and I'm in. Just tell me there is, and I'm totally all in, sold. All right. And now when Aaron heard this, his heart began to rejoice, and he said, Behold, assuredly as thou livest, O king, there is a God. Well, that's it. That's the greatest sales pitch I've ever heard. I'm in. There's a God. Thank you, Aaron, for solving that riddle for us. And the king said, Is God that great spirit that brought our fathers out of the land of Jerusalem? Okay. And Aaron said unto him, Yea, drink. I don't know how, but I need to open another beer. It seemed like I went through that one pretty fast. Okay, got one open. So the question was, is God the same spirit that led Lehi out of Jerusalem? And Aaron said, yeah, basically. He is that great spirit, and he created all things both in heaven and in earth. Believest thou this? Gotta believe. And he said, yea, drink. I believe the great spirit created all things, and I desire that ye should tell me concerning all these things, and I will believe thy words. I have no idea why this king is telling Aaron, you say the word and I believe you. Like he's just like, I don't know you. Like he never met him before now, right? All he knows is that Aaron has a brother that's pretty handy with a sword. That's basically what the king knows about Aaron, right? Handy enough with a sword that he chopped his arm off and could have killed him. And yeah, apparently that's enough. So now the king's like, Aaron, just tell me what I'm supposed to believe. Just tell me. I'll believe it. Say it, and I believe it. There you go. And it came to pass, drink. Goodness. That when Aaron saw that the king would believe his words, it began from the creation of Adam. Oh God, not all this again. I hope they sum it up fast. Remember last time? It's like the story's repeating itself. When this is like Ammon, when he was with Lamoni, and he was like, I will start at the beginning of the creation of Adam. And then he went through like everything that had happened. And it sounds like this is happening again, but this time it's Aaron and the king of all the land, who, by the way, still doesn't have a name. It's weird. Weird who gets names in this book. It's strange. Anyway. Alright, creation of Adam. Reading the scriptures unto the king, how God created man after his own image, and that God gave him commandments, and that because of transgression man had fallen. This again. And Aaron did expound unto him the scriptures from the creation of Adam. Oh, come on. Sum it up. Laying the fall of man before him, and their carnal state, and also the plan of redemption, which was prepared from the foundation of the world through Christ, for whosoever would believe on his name. Okay. This is just going on, isn't it? And since man had fallen, he could not merit anything of himself, but the sufferings and death of Christ atoned for their sins, through faith and repentance and so forth. And he breaketh the bands of death, and the grave shall have no victory. And the sting of death shall be swallowed up in the hopes of glory. Gotta say, Aaron's a little bit more poetic with his explanation, isn't he? I know I've been kind of running through this, but I don't know. This is kind of nice the way it sounds. You know, he breaketh the bands of death. The grave shall have no victory. And the sting of death shall be swallowed up in the hopes of glory. That's kind of cool. And Aaron did expound all the things unto the king. And it came to pass, drink. That after Aaron had expounded these things unto him, the king said, What shall I do, that I may have this eternal life which thou hast spoken? Yea. Again? All right, drink. What shall I do that I may be born of God, having this wicked spirit rooted out of my breast, and receive his spirit, that I may be filled with joy, that I may not be cast off at the last day? Behold, said he, I will give up all that I possess, yea, for God's sake, drink. I will forsake my kingdom, that I may receive this great joy. I'm sorry, I gotta catch my breath. That was a lot of drinking. Okay. Whew. But Aaron said unto him, If thou desirest this thing, if thou wilt bow down before God, yea. Another drink. All right. Holy crap, a lot of drinking. If thou wilt repent of all thy sins, and wilt bow down before God, and wilt call on his name in faith, believing that ye shall receive, then thou shalt receive the hopes which thou desirest. Okay. And it came to pass, for God's sake. Drink. Oh. Seriously, are you guys enjoying? This is like torture. This is like some serious drinking. Okay. I hope everyone is enjoying watching me digress into a state of like pure intoxication. At this point, my stomach's ready to explode from all the drinking. All right, it came to pass that when Aaron had said these words, the king did bow down before the Lord upon his knees. Yea, really? Drink. Ugh. Even he did prostrate himself upon the earth and cried mightily, saying, O God, Aaron hath told me that there is a God, and if there is a God, and if thou art God, wilt thou make thyself known unto me, and I will give away all my sins to know thee, that I may be raised from the dead, and be saved at the last day. And now when the king had said these words, he was struck as if he were dead. Yeah, this happened again. Yeah. You open the door to the spirit, and he's like, Spirit, show yourself. Dead. He killed. I don't understand. Does this happen today? Like, seriously, for those of you that ever, like, went out on Mormon missionaries trips, when you convert someone, and you baptize them, they just fall over dead for a while? Is that a thing? Because if it's not a thing, then why does this keep happening in this book? Anyway, I don't know. But he's dead. Or at least it's as if he were dead. Which, by the way, explain that. As if he were dead would mean no heartbeat, no breathing. So, I mean, how if he were dead is this here? I don't know. I know I use the coma reference, but even coma, they're breathing, right? Anyway, but he's struck down. King of all the kings on the ground. All right, I just looked down, and the next verses, and it came to pass, and I'm out of beer. I don't know how the hell I drank so much, but all right, I gotta go get more. Hold on. All right, I'm back. And, yeah, as I was going to get more beer, it occurred to me, this king doesn't make any sense, right? This king of all kings, or king of all the land, right? We still don't know his name, which is odd. But think about it. He, like, hated the Nephites. He's like, everything they say is a lie. They're just here to rob us and deceive us. Like, I hate them, kill them, rah. And then, he's like, raised his sword, and he went to kill Ammon, and then Ammon won, right? The sword fight, chopped his arm off and said, I'm going to kill you. And now the king's like, oh, well, this guy's got, I believe him now. It's like, what? Wait, huh? Somehow the king just like went from hating everything Nephite. Now he's just like, if you tell me it's true, I'm in. I believe it. And he believed it so much that now he went into the same coma, the born again coma. I tell you, they take this whole born again concept pretty seriously, right? Like they have to like die. They have to fall over like they're dead until they come back and be like, I see, I understand now. Okay, so I had to get beer because of the next verse, which is, and it came to pass, drink. I'll tell you, I'm getting really hammered, if you didn't figure that out. It's not so much the amount of drinking as like the frequency of it, right? Like, I can have 5 or 6 beers and be okay, but like to do it in like an hour, that's a lot of beer. Okay. That his servants ran and told the queen all that had happened unto the king. And she came in to see the king, and when she saw him lay as if he were dead, and also Aaron and his brethren standing as though they had been the cause of his fall, she was angry with them, and commanded that her servants, or the servants of the king, should take them and slay them. All right. So the king, or the queen, this really is the same story as the last episode, right? But this time, like in the last story, like the whole, I don't know, town walked into the palace, and they were like, oh my God, the Nephite must be evil because, look, the king's dead. And now it's like same story, it's just the queen this time that sees her king dead, sees Aaron standing over him. What's she supposed to think? She's like, kill this guy, right? All right. Now the servants had seen the cause of the king's fall, therefore they durst not lay their hands on Aaron and his brethren, and they pled with the queen, saying, Why commandest thou that we should slay these men, when behold, one of them is mightier than us all? Who's mightier than which one? I don't know. Therefore we should fall before them. I don't know who's mightier in the group. Like, if Ammon were there, I would get it. Like, he's a badass, but Aaron hasn't done anything that would cause anyone to think he was mightier. I don't know. And also it said, like, they saw the cause of the king's fall. What did they see exactly? They saw the king say, you know what? I think this might be true. Yeah, God. Hey, God, if you're up there. And it was like a lot of ifs, right? It's like, Aaron told me that there's a God, and if there's a God, and if it happens to be you, could you, like, make yourself known unto me? And the next thing you know, he's like, blah, falls to the ground dead. So, and the servants are like, well, this is a good thing. I don't know how I don't get it. I don't get how they're thinking this is awesome. And also, I don't get how they're thinking that anyone is mightier than them. Who exactly? Whatever. Okay, when the queen saw the fear of the servants, she also began to fear exceedingly, lest there should some evil come upon her. Well, and she commanded her servants that they should go and call the people, that they might slay Aaron and his brethren. What? Okay, so, so the queen is like, hey, servants, kill these guys, and they're like, nah, bad idea. They're kind of strong. And she's like, oh, okay, fair enough. If you're being chickens about it, why don't you go out, get some people, bring them in, and they can kill them. All right. And then when Aaron saw the determination of the queen, he, also knowing the hardness of the hearts of the people, feared lest the multitude should assemble themselves together, and there should be a great contention and disturbance among them. Therefore he put forth his hand and raised the king from the earth. Ooh, levitation, exciting. And he said unto him, stand. And he stood upon his feet, receiving his strength. All right, so Aaron's like, there's a lynch mob on its way. I better get this king back up. So he levitated him somehow, got him standing, and there you go. Now this was done in the presence of the queen and many of the servants. And when they saw it, they greatly marveled, and began to fear. And the king stood forth and began to minister unto them. And he did minister unto them, insomuch that his whole household were converted unto the Lord. Well done, king. A minute ago you were like, kill all the Nephites. Now you lost your arm, and now it's like, gotta believe in God. Yeah, let's do this. And apparently he was successful, because now the king has got the whole household converted. Good for him. And there was a multitude gathered together because of the commandment of the queen. Ah, the lynch mob has come. And the king commanded, or the queen commanded. There you go. And they began to be great murmurings among them because of Aaron and his brethren. Murmur. You know what murmuring gets people. But the king stood forth among them and administered unto them, for they were pacified towards Aaron and those who were with him. Then the king was like, calm down, put your pitchforks down. Everything's fine here. God is good. Let's all be good God people. And it came to pass, drink. It's been a while for that one. That when the king saw that the people were pacified, he caused that Aaron and his brethren should stand forth in the midst of the multitude, and they should preach the word unto them. All right. The king's like, get in there now. I'm going to preach. Get some preaching going. And it came to pass, drink again. The king sent a proclamation throughout all the land, amongst all his people who were in all his land, who were in all the regions round about, which was bordering even unto the sea, and the east and the west, which was divided from the land of Zarahemla by a narrow strip of wilderness, which ran from the sea. Wait, what is this? Some geography lesson? At first it was like the king commanded all his people. Fair enough. Next sentence, but no, they have to be very descriptive about what that means. So, yeah, bordering the sea, east and west, divided by Zarahemla by a narrow strip of wilderness, which ran from the sea, even from the sea to the west, which round about on the borders of the seashore, and the borders of the wilderness, which is on the north of the land of Zarahemla. I don't care about any of this. Through the borders of Manti, by the head of the river Sidon, running from the east towards the west, and thus were the Lamanites and the Nephites divided. Ooh, wow, I got lost. Maybe if I were sober that would have made sense, but I don't, it's just, okay. Something about geography, they were trying to describe, like the geography of what the Lamanites controlled or something, but whatever, I don't care enough to read into it. Now the more idle part of the Lamanites lived in the wilderness and dwelt in tents. Good holy people, just like Lehi, right? Remember Nephi kept bragging, my dad dwelt in a tent. That's my guy. And they were spread through the wilderness on the west in the land of Nephi. Yay, drink. Thank goodness for that drink, because this was getting boring. And also in the west of the land of Zarahemla, in the borders of the seashore. What is going on? And in the west of the land of Nephi, in the place of their father's first inheritance, and thus bordering along by the seashore. I have the foggiest idea why they're going through all this geographical lessoning. I don't know. And also, there were many Lamanites on the east by the seashore. It's still going, whither the Nephites had driven them. And thus the Nephites were nearly surrounded by the Lamanites. Nevertheless, the Nephites had taken possession of all northern parts of the land bordering on the wilderness, at the head of the river Sidon, from the east to the west, round about on the wilderness side, on the north, even, what in the world is going on? Even until they came to land which was called Bountiful. Bountiful. I thought Bountiful was like where they were before they crossed the great waters, wasn't it? I don't know. I could be dead wrong. Who knows? I don't know what's happening. I don't know why they're going into all this, like, what, east, west, north. Who cares? Anyway. And it bordered upon the land which they called Desolation. That's a good land. It being so far northward, it came into the land which have been peopled and been destroyed, of those bones we have spoken, which were discovered by the people of Zarahemla, and it being the place of the first landing. So, okay, they're making reference to the whole Jaredite land, right? I think is what that is. I don't know why it matters, but okay. And they came from there up in the south wilderness. Am I missing something important with all this? I don't know that I am. I don't. But thus the land of the northward was called Desolation, and the land of the southward was called Bountiful, it being a wilderness which was filled with all manner of wild animals of every kind, a part of which had come from the land northward for food. Why does this matter? You know, if this is like describing, like trying to describe like a map of some kind, if someone like has a link that I'm sure some scholars have gone through this and said like, oh yes, we can describe where everything is happening and where, so okay, if someone can show me what this is trying to describe, great. I am not going to try and figure this out because I don't care enough. Anyway. And now it was only the distance of a day and a half's journey for a Nephite. What? On the line Bountiful in the land of Desolation, from the east to the west sea, and thus the land of Nephi and the land of Zarahemla were nearly surrounded by water, there being a small neck of land between the land northward and the land southward. I'm sorry, I have to go back. I love that it was like, it was a distance of a day and a half's journey for a Nephite. Well, are Nephites fast? Are they slow? I don't know. You know what I mean? If it's like day and a half journey for a Nephite, but it took a lazy Lamanite 5 days. I don't know. I have no, that does not help me with the distance of how far a day and a half is for a Nephite. Anyway, and then it came to pass, let's drink. The Nephites had inhabited the land Bountiful, even from the east unto the west sea, and they're still not done with this. And thus Nephites in their wisdom, with their guards and their armies, had hemmed in the Lamanites on the south. And thereby they should have no more possessions on the north, that they might not overrun the land northward. I still don't know what's happening, and still don't care. Therefore the Lamanites could have no more possessions only in the land of Nephi, and the wilderness round about. Now this was the wisdom in the Nephites. Okay. And the Lamanites were an enemy unto them. They would not suffer their afflictions on every hand, and also they might have a country whither they might flee according to their desires. Still don't know what's happening. Now who's I? And now I. This is the last verse of the chapter, and he says, and now I. I don't know who it is. After having said this, return again to the account of Ammon, and Aaron, and Omner, and Himni, and their brethren. Wow. Well, that's that. That was a weird end. What are you going to do? All right. And that happened. And, wow, I'm pretty drunk. So, for those of you that said, wow, we sure like listening to David get drunk, you got your wish. Are you happy now? Do you feel better about yourselves? Mm-hmm. Do you? Yeah. So, a few things I want to mention before we close the episode, I guess. So, one is I'm really happy. Yeah, for those of you that have ever heard of Freedom from Religion Foundation, right? FFRF. Awesome organization. They basically go out and they have a team of lawyers that go out and attack anytime there is a clear violation of separation of church and state, right? That's what they do. So if you go to your school and they're handing out Bibles, you can contact FFRF and they will jump on it, right? And most of the time they succeed with just a letter. They just write a letter and they're just like, FYI, you're breaking the law. Here's how, right? And then it stops. But when it does go to court, they tend to win every time because the Constitution is pretty clear, but it doesn't mean that people don't try. Anyway, FFRF, Freedom from Religion Foundation, awesome organization. So a few months ago, maybe just a month ago, I became a member of FFRF. And for those of you that are not a member, you should seriously consider doing it. So anyway, I signed up. I was proud of myself. I took a picture of myself, like signing up, and put it on Twitter. And you know, they put it in their newsletter. The newsletter called Free Thought Today. So yeah, the My Book of Mormon podcast got itself a plug in the Freedom from Religion Foundation newsletter. I thought it was pretty awesome. And as a matter of fact, I took a picture of myself holding the newspaper and tweeted that. Like, it was crazy. Anyway, so check out FFRF. They're awesome. And for those of you that listen to Thank God I'm Atheist, they just call it FFRF, which is kind of funny. But anyway, so yeah, it was awesome. So I'll put a link to it. I think it's page 21 is where you got the Dave Michael picture holding a thumbs up over the my membership. But yeah, I thought it was great. Thought I'd mention it here. And then also, it's been a long time since I did any of our Prophet Jeremy's plugs, right? So Prophet Jeremy said he didn't want anything for himself. He just wanted to get the word out about other cool venues. So last time it was Thank God I'm Atheist podcast, which I just mentioned. But he has another one that's called the You Are Not So Smart podcast. I haven't listened to it yet, and but it was the second one on his list, so I'm going to check it out. And I hope I assume that, I mean, he's a prophet, so, I mean, he can't be wrong. If Prophet Jeremy said it was good, it must be good, because he is a prophet. He can tell. He knows these things. So, Prophet Jeremy, I'm going to be checking out You Are Not So Smart podcast, and I hope everybody else does too, because if Prophet Jeremy likes it, it must be awesome. So, there you go. I'll put a link to that in the show notes too. All right. Oh, I gotta close this. Gotta be done. I don't think you guys know how much you need to thank me, because I was looking at the calendar and I was like, okay, what is a night I could actually record drunk? Because that's what everybody wants, right? That's what you want. And I was like, the only way I could do it would be Sunday night, which would mean that I have to get drunk recording the show and then edit the darn thing and like get it up and put it out. So I actually have work ahead of me now. Do you understand what I have to do to get the show out tonight? It's going to be all right. And the real problem is, like, for those of you that drink, you know that you can't just, like, start drinking and then just stop. Like, that's not something that happens. You stop when you go to bed. That's how that works. So for all of you non-drinking mimos, yeah, that's basically how this works. When you start drinking, once you crack that first one, you go until you pass out. Well, pass out, not necessarily. Go to bed. We'll put it that way. You don't have to pass out. Anyway, so yeah, I now have to edit. And I know I'm going to keep drinking. I don't know how this is going to turn out. So if it sounds like this was like really poorly edited, at least you know why. You know, what are you going to do? But I gotta admit, there were a few moments in there where I wanted to curse 21st Century Boy for coming up with this name, or for this game. And, but no, I think I gotta thank him still. It's fun. I gotta admit, it's fun. You know, this was a fun episode for me. And I gotta admit, I hope I can do all of them to play the game. It's fun. Anyway, all right, I should stop. Mimos, you know how much I love you. I say it constantly, but this show is what it is because of you. All of the listeners that reach out to me and tell me what they're thinking. This is proof. Tonight's episode is proof that I listen, because I thought I was being irresponsible and unprofessional to release an episode where I was drinking, and everyone said, we loved it. Keep doing more. Look at me. I'm doing it again. I have delivered again on what you want. So the show is what you want it to be. For all of you out there that are thinking maybe you like something, maybe you don't like something, you haven't reached out, let me know. Just send that email. Oh, I should probably mention comments at mybookofmormonpodcast.com. There you go. That's the easiest way to reach out to me. Of course, you can go to the website. Should I do this? Should I do all the plugs? I guess I should. It's been a while. Okay, so you can go to the website, mybookofmormonpodcast.com. You can leave, comments on every episode there. Fantastic. You can go to the Facebook page, which is Facebook.com/mybookofmormonpodcast, or you can follow me on Twitter, which is not hashtag. Oh my God, I'm drunk. At mybookofmormonpod. No, see? I'm so drunk I don't even know my own Twitter handle. The Twitter handle is at My Book of Mormon. Oh, there you go. I should stop now. Once again, I really am hammered. I'm not going to lie. All right. At what point do you want to hear that lovely music coming in? Yeah, I think maybe now? Yeah, there it is. Lovely.
This song is licensed for use within this podcast. All song and copyright information can be found at www.mybookofmormonpodcast.com.